Supervive is one of the most fun games I've played in a while. The combat is fast, fluid, and chaotic in all the best ways. The characters feel distinct and unique, and the customization options, both in looks and gameplay, give you a real sense of ownership over how you play. This game has so much going for it, and yet, it probably won't succeed. And it sucks because underneath everything holding it back, Supervive has the core of something really special. It just has too many things working against it. Things that could have been avoided or still could be fixed, but as it stands, it's hard to stay hopeful, even with the 1.0 launch. The gameplay in Supervive is genuinely amazing. Every match feels intense and unpredictable, but not in a frustrating way. There's a rhythm to the combat that feels addictive, movement is clean, abilities feel impactful, and there's enough variety between characters to keep it fresh even after hours of play. Positioning and spacing feels important, which to me is very important in team-based combat. The character design is top tier. Visually they stand out. They're expressive and memorable with distinct and mostly unique designs. But it's not just the looks, the way they play is what makes them shine. Every character has their own playstyle, their own strengths, and their own personality in combat. And customization is surprisingly deep. Between gear, augments, cosmetics, and builds with the new armory system, there's a lot of room to experiment. You really feel like you can mold your playstyle to fit how you want to approach a match, which is rare in a battle royale and many hero shooters, and Supervive is really attempting to make it work, but how they're handling it might not be the best way. So why isn't the game blowing up? Why isn't it getting the attention it deserves? Well, here's where the problems start. Let's talk about the battle pass. It's easily one of the most frustrating parts of the game right now. It doesn't reward casual or consistent play, instead it locks progression behind overly specific challenges. You can't just play the game and make progress, you have to chase these arbitrary tasks that often force you into playstyles or characters you wouldn't normally use. It takes one of the most fun aspects of the game and forces you to change how you approach it. And even if you do grind it out, it takes way too long to level up. And the worst part? Completing the entire free battle pass won't give you enough VP for a chroma. Some of the skins and other cosmetics are well designed or funny, but the one free skin, this thing, in the pass is one of the final pages, and the paid pass gives you 4 total skins. 4. 2 of which are essentially recolors, unless there's some sort of effect I don't know about. Albeit, the paid pass does give you exactly enough VP to get the pass again, which is very important in my opinion for a successful game. But you can't spend it on anything else. I'll tell you this much, I'm not sure about other people, but when I get a battle pass in a game, it's likely because it's a good deal on premium currency or loot boxes. The cosmetics that come with it are just a bonus. But this is the kind of battle pass that feels like a chore, not a bonus. The shop itself isn't inherently bad, but it feels like it was built for monetization first and players second. Prices are high, and if you're a free-to-play player, you're basically locked out of cool cosmetics. There's no path to earn anything decent without spending money. No event skins, no free drops, nothing that makes you feel rewarded just for being a dedicated player long term, aside from this daily login mobile game thing. It's just empty. Supervive needs to have more to earn, and to an extent more player choice in what they earn, not just drops on very specific skins. When a game rewards free players, those free players start paying. I did get a title for being a beta player, and creators can give out a code for a free skin, so I guess there's that. But I think it's very important for game devs of, well, mini games to realize that a big portion of players like having skins is to show it off to other people, but if one exact free skin is being given to everyone who plays just for logging in, it doesn't make it special. It's no longer something to show off to your friends or to enemies or allies online, it's just something everybody owns. I understand that the game needs to make money to survive. I'm all for monetizing games, especially online competitive games, especially when it's free to play in the first place, but I support doing it well. If a player wants to spend their hard-earned money on this, let them. But they have to want to first, and most players aren't going to want to pay for a skin on a game they sometimes play just because. I do appreciate the $5 Season 1 deal, but that's not sustainable. Of course, the game has to be profitable to survive, but it has to retain its players to make a profit. Which leads to the main issue. There's no real incentive to keep playing, just like it was in the open beta. Outside of grinding the battle pass or unlocking items in the armory, which I'll talk about more later, there isn't a strong sense of progression. There's no meaningful reward system, no collectible chase, nothing to look forward to after each match except maybe a bit of XP. which helps progress your battle pass, and the horrendous, don't even want to talk too much about it, hunter pass, which unlocks features of the game, such as upgrading your abilities or having consumable slots. It simply shouldn't be in the game. Anyways, it's a great game. It's incredibly fun in the moment, but it doesn't give you much reason to come back day after day. They tried to address this with the Armory in 1.0, which is supposed to be Supervive's new and exciting meta progression system, but has some issues holding it back. Because it's new, I'll explain how it works. During a match, you earn a currency called Prisma. You can use that Prisma to unlock and upgrade gear in your armory, things like perks, relics, and grips, which all affect how your character plays in game. Then, during a match, you collect a separate currency called Coin. Use that coin to buy the gear you've already unlocked in your armory and deploy it mid-match. On paper, the system is pretty smart. It gives players more control over their loadouts, reduces RNG from random item drops, and adds a layer of build crafting or theory crafting to the game. It's also not pay to win. Prisma can't be bought with real money, so it's technically a fair playing field. Technically. But here's where the system starts to fall apart. The star system, differing rarities, and the loot box system. And I fully support loot boxes in a cosmetic only setting. But this isn't that, this is mobile game type behavior. Each piece of gear in the armory can be upgraded from 1 to 3 stars, and higher star items aren't just different, they're better. That means if someone has a 3-star version of a relic and you only have the 1-star version, they're going to have a direct advantage. That just breaks the balance. It shifts the game away from being about smart strategy and good decision making to about who's been grinding more or extracting more. It goes against the spirit of a fair competitive experiments. To me, that's a problem. The system is supposed to encourage creativity in builds. It's supposed to be their fix to not having long-term engagement on the game, but instead it just creates power gaps. One way to fix this might be to remove the star upgrades and rarities entirely and keep all gear on some sort of equal footing, or if they really want to keep some sort of upgrade path, then make those upgrades happen inside the match. Tie it to getting takedowns while using that gear, or make it something you buy with in-game coin like you already do with the gear itself. That way upgrades become part of the match's pacing, not something decided before the game even starts. And then there's the whole Prisma extraction thing. In the current system, you don't just earn Prisma at the end of a match, you actually have to extract it during the game by going to specific points on the map. You can earn a little bit without extracting, but in my opinion, the objective should be around minions and bosses, as they had been in the beta and the alpha, in order to force team fights around objectives, instead of disrupting the flow of the match, pulling players away from team fights and not really adding any excitement. I'd honestly rather see Prisma just get granted at the end of a match, with maybe a small modifier based on how well your team placed. That would keep things cleaner, smoother, and way more enjoyable overall. At the end of the day, the armory could be one of the most compelling parts of Supervive. It's already ambitious, and I respect that, but its current design is too focused on grind and progression over fair competitive play. You can seemingly take gear from other players for the rest of a match after eliminating them, but that itself doesn't fix the core issue. It needs to shift back toward balance and in-match strategy, otherwise it risks alienating the exact players who would care enough to stick around and master it. Then there's the issue of game modes. Supervive doesn't offer enough meaningful variety. Most matches feel the same, and there aren't many fun or creative modes to break things up. It makes the whole experience feel a bit repetitive, even if the core gameplay is solid. Variety matters, especially in a game with this much potential. Supervive is at its core a battle royale, and like it or not, the battle royale system is kind of overcrowded. Without a truly standout or fresh mode, it's hard for even great battle royales to maintain a player base in the long run, and while Supervive does things differently, it doesn't do it enough to truly separate itself from the pack, and some of the things that it does differently makes it somewhat less thrilling than a lot of other battle royales. Think like not able to see team fights or hear team fights happening from further away, which I know things like that happening encourages third parties, but at the very least that's more exciting than having a minute or two where you're just farming minions. I think maybe it's just me because I really love the combat system in Supervive, but sometimes this game just doesn't feel tense enough around the edges. The game thrives around action, but for one reason or another, it doesn't feel tense enough around the edges. Then again, I've never loved Battle Royale and really would love this game to lean more into arena modes, but I'll cover that topic in another video, so go ahead and subscribe if you want to hear my ideas for some game modes that I think would work amazing with Supervive's core mechanics. But that's what it all comes down to. Supervive has amazing gameplay, but it surrounds that gameplay with systems and choices that work against it long term. It's fun, but it doesn't respect the player's time. It's beautiful, but it doesn't offer enough meaningful rewards. It's competitive, but it's gate-kept behind really long unlocks and grinds and loot boxes, and that's heartbreaking. Because this game deserves better. It deserves a player base, it deserves community love, but the way things are going, it might not get either. And if it doesn't make major changes and fast, it's going to go to the way of so many promising games that just couldn't keep people around. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to see this game thrive and grow and improve. The bones are there, the gameplay is there, the soul is there. It just needs better support systems around it to survive. So what should be done? Well, it's ultimately not my choice, and maybe that's a good thing. What do you think about Supervive? Are you playing it? Are you enjoying it? Do you agree or disagree with the problems I mentioned? Drop a comment. I really want to know how the rest of the community feels. If you found this video interesting and you love Supervive, MOBA, and more, a like and a sub would mean a lot. I've got more breakdowns and commentary coming soon, so stick around if that's your thing.
Yeah.
Abyssal hatchlings are spawning soon.
Down.
Position.
Great, stop feeling. Why think you have a chance? That squad has only one survivor.
I really sniped him, that was awesome.